Welcome to Awakening the Spiritual Mind. My name is Elisabeth Carrio and I am your host. In this series, I share extracts from my book, Reflections and Practices to help you pause, realign, and awaken to what truly matters. In part 2, we are deep in step 1 of our 3-step journey, understanding, meaning knowing yourself and the environment you are living in, before integrating and then acting with spiritual intelligence. After archetypal astrology as a map of inner weather, today we open chapter 6, Kabbalistic Psychology and the Tree Within, or the Tree of Life as a symbolic blueprint of your inner architecture. This is not theology class. It's practical psychology through symbols. 10 Sephirah that help you notice where you give in or restrain, expand or ground, intuit or structure, and how to return to balance. I'd like now to share with you a passage from chapter 6.
Chapter 6, Kabbalistic Psychology and the Tree Within. As we have seen, archetypal astrology offers a symbolic map of the soul's dynamics, a way of naming and navigating the psychic forces that shape our inner life, but it is not the only language of the invisible. In the next chapter, we turn to another powerful tool for self-discovery, the Tree of Life in Kabbalistic Psychology. Where astrology charts the cosmos within, Kabbalah reveals the energetic blueprint of creation itself and your place within it. There is a pattern within you, not just emotional or behavioral, but energetic. A rhythm of giving and receiving, of seeking and surrendering, of knowing and unknowing. In the Jewish mystical tradition of Kabbalah, that pattern is known as the Tree of Life. Though Kabbalah is rooted in Jewish spirituality, its psychological insights have transcended time, geography, and religion. Christian mystics, Renaissance philosophers, and contemporary transpersonal thinkers have drawn upon its wisdom. As many teachers affirm, Kabbalah belongs to no one tradition. It is a universal map of consciousness and a symbolic model of inner architecture. This chapter introduces the key principles of Kabbalistic psychology, offering not theological doctrine, but experiential insights into the soul's structure and growth. As with astrology or dreams, Kabbalah speaks the language of symbols, images that resonate with deep psychological and spiritual truth. The divine spark within. According to the mystical tradition of Kabbalah, every human being carries a spark of divine light, a fragment of the original brilliance that brought the universe into being. The story goes like this. When creation began, divine energy was poured into vessels meant to hold its intensity, but the energy was too vast, too pure. The vessels shattered, scattering pieces of light into the world. Some of that light became hidden within distorted forms, known as the Qliphoth, not evil in themselves, but expressions of imbalance, fear, or separation. And some of it, the most precious part, became embedded in every human soul. Why does this ancient story matter? Because it gives us a radical, healing perspective. No matter who you are, no matter what you've been through, you carry within you something whole, untouchable, and radiant, a spark of the infinite. That spark is the source of your deepest longings, for connection, for meaning, for a sense of belonging that no success or relationship alone can satisfy. Even when life buries it beneath shame or trauma, that spark doesn't disappear. It waits, silently, faithfully. It is the thread that pulls you back when everything else falls away. This idea is echoed in transpersonal psychology, a field that bridges modern psychology and spiritual insight. It explores what lies beyond the ego, our longing for purpose, connection, creativity, and wholeness.
What we just heard reframes the tree of life not as a diagram to study, but as a living map, a mirror of our inner architecture. Imagine it as a vertical flow of energy, constantly moving between expansion and contraction, giving and receiving. On the right pillar, Chesed, Netzach, and Chokmah, we find the forces that expand life: generosity, intuition, inspiration, and momentum. This is the pillar of flow, where love overflows into action, where creativity rushes forward before doubt can stop it. On the left pillar, Gevurah, Od, and Bina, we meet the forces that contain and give form: discipline, discernment, clarity, and structure. This is the pillar of refinement, where boundaries protect energy, where reflection turns impulse into wisdom. And between these two pillars stands the central pillar: Keter at the crown, Tipheret at the heart, Yesod at foundation, and Malkut as embodiment. This is the path of balance, the alignment between heaven and earth, thought and body, essence and expression. It is what allows vision to become action, and action to carry light. Most of our daily struggles are not moral failures, they are imbalance between these poles. Too much Chesed without Gevurah becomes overgiving, exhaustion, or blurred boundaries. Too much Gevurah without Chesed becomes rigidity, judgment, or cold perfectionism. When these opposites meet and harmonize, they form Tipheret, the heart's equilibrium, where love and truth coexist. When you can name the imbalance, you can invite the counter quality. Structure softens with compassion, passion steadies with reflection. The tree becomes a language of recentering, a way to come back to harmony again and again. Two other ideas help deepen this practice. The first is that, often called the hidden Sephirah. Psychologically, that corresponds to what transpersonal psychology might call the transcendent function, meaning the convergence of rational insight, emotional truth, and soul-level knowing. It is the point where opposites are held in dynamic tension until transformation occurs. Once a truth becomes embodied, we cannot return to the comfort of unawareness. The second is the klipot, a mysterious word. They are not demons, but distortions, fragments of divine qualities cut off from the center. Love without boundary becomes dependency, for example. Discipline without compassion becomes cruelty. Ambition without meaning becomes emptiness. Shadow work, in this language, is not about fighting darkness. It's about bringing these exiled forces back into relationship with the heart. So the tree is not asking you to be perfect. It invites a dynamic, living balance, a constant tuning of the instrument. You learn to sense when you are out of key and to adjust with awareness, not judgment. In that movement between expansion and contraction, you begin to play your life in harmony. Now, close your eyes if you can. One slow breath. Scan your week and notice one area that feels overextended. For example, too much giving, too much pushing, too much thinking. And one other area that feels underfed. Not enough boundary, not enough rest, or not enough embodiment. Now bring the counter quality to mind. For example, if you are overgiving, Chesed, invite a clear boundary, Gevurah. If you are overthinking, Bina, invite one small intuitive step, Chokmah. If you are stuck in ideas, Keter, Name a concrete act, Malkut. Let one tiny adjustment for today arise naturally. Then open your awakening journal or your notebook and write freely about this question. First, where am I out of tune? Name one overused Sephirah quality and its neglected counterpart. 2. What does Tipheret, meaning balance compassion, ask of me in this situation? And from that to action, one action that embodies a truth I already know can I take, meaning a boundary, a rest, an honest conversation, a grounded step. Today we use the tree as inner architecture, expansion and restraint meeting at the heart, then grounding into daily life. Next, we will open chapter 7. The name is What Season in Life Are You In? Recognizing life cycles and cultural currents so you can meet this season with the right rhythm and response. Thank you for listening to Awakening the Spiritual Mind.